The Financial Survival Network, helping you survive and thrive in the new economy. Go to kerrylutz.com and sign up for 30 free micro trainings on financial survival.
1490 WGCH. This is Kerry Lutz, and you're listening to the Financial Survival Network, which is brought to you by Miles Franklin. They've been in business selling gold and silver for over 20 years, and I'm a customer because when you buy, they ship. For more information, find them on the web at milesfranklin.com or give them a call at 800-822-8080 and get a free quote. Bob Chapman, the international forecaster, is back with us to answer these major questions. Is there any hope for Spain? And is Italy next? What happens after Spain blows up? And should Europe add Apple as a member of the EU and change the currency from the euro to the apple? Bob, welcome back.
Well, thank you.
So
tongue-in-cheek apple.
So what do you think about that? If we just dump the euro and we adapt a new currency called the Apple, which is based on Apple's earnings and sales, that should fix everything, right?
Presumably, but I don't think
So
so.
Spain, we're looking at bank runs. We're looking at riots that they're not showing us on American television. They're burning down banks, and the place is blowing up and potentially could be worse than Greece, right?
Certainly so.
Yeah.
We talked about Spain over 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And we said, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah. And 3 years ago.
It'll happen in Italy. Only it's going to be worse in Italy because you get so many illegal aliens there.
Yeah. So they're setting up detention camps in certain countries for the immigrants. I think, did I see that in France? They want to just set up camps and get rid of them?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, then how much longer before the U.S. does it in other countries? Because they're taking away jobs of citizens, right?
And that's right, and it's gone on far too long.
Yeah, well...
At any level, you've got your own country. You should be running it in behalf of the people who are in the country, not some transnational corporation that belongs and is controlled by the Illuminati.
Right, and they want this cheap labor so that they can make more money and not deal with unions, right? Because if you're an illegal worker, if you're in the country illegally, you have no rights, you're not protected by unions, and you're totally at the mercy of exploitative, fascistic corporations, right?
Exactly.
So what's
and this has been coming for a long time. It's just the financial and the economic problems come along with it.
Yeah.
And it's going to get worse.
Well, it will until somebody really addresses the underlying problems. But when you have leaders of countries that have been installed by certain international banks, then the only hope for them is to rise up and throw off their chains, right?
That's right.
Will they do it?
I think they'll be forced to.
So you're Joe Six-Pack, who actually you're now Joe Two-Pack because you can't afford a six-pack. And, the television is just not doing it for you anymore. Your kids are living with you till they're old enough to collect Social Security. What are you supposed to do here? What is your out?
Well, they all know the answer, and it is loans for smaller companies that make the jobs. Period.
Yeah.
And they're literally not giving them those jobs, so that's the end of that.
Yeah.
There is no solution.
Yeah, it's really disheartening because the U.S. used to be a country of entrepreneurs, of optimists, of people who really felt that they had some control over their future. They were willing to take risks. They wanted success, and they wanted a better life for their children. And, I'm sure there's still some of you out there that want this and that strive for it, and yet government policies have been put in place to end that, to make us just like every other country and to destroy your optimism and your hope and your desire for a better life for your children. And after that's gone, Bob, what do you have?
Slaves.
Yeah, I'm laughing, but I'm really not laughing.
Being fed soy and grain.
Yeah. Yeah, well, instead, how about high fructose corn syrup? Right?
Whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Really. So another day, another raid against gold and silver. Horrible, horrible employment numbers, right?
And they hit the market just before the numbers come out.
Gee, and who would think that there might be a pattern there of manipulation and rigging of your markets, right?
That's right.
Yes.
You might call it the American Nazi government.
Well, it certainly is heading in that direction. I mean, they're passing laws, issuing edicts. It's no longer a nation of laws and not men.
That's right.
So where's the best place in the world to live, Bob, in your opinion?
I know it's getting tougher. If I see Bolivia and their benevolent communist government just took over a powder company that belongs to a Spanish company. Mm-hmm. And it was just recently that in Argentina.
Oh, yeah.
They took over a company.
Mm-hmm. YPF,
and,
yeah.
I think the best ones are, and even Chile. I was so disappointed. They did a shutdown as well. Mm-hmm. And there's your time to shine, and they go in the opposite direction. So that leaves you Mexico and Costa Rica.
Yeah, and Costa Rica is not really industry friendly either, though. They're like a real enemy of the mining industry because they like this ecotourism thing. They want this eco theme park, the whole country to be one. But in a lot of other respects, it is freer and happier than other places. And it's also an internet gambling mecca as well. So if you're into it, I guess it's a good place to be, right?
Right. We ran into the mining problems, around 1975, about 30 years ago. I had to abandon an excellent project in Costa Rica because of that. And I wouldn't recommend anybody try mining. It's very difficult.
Yeah. And mining is so crucial and important to the world's prosperity, to the ability to maintain the modern lifestyle, even if you're not materialistic. I mean, all these people who aren't materialistic, not into material things, but wait till they pull out their smartphone and their notebook computer and they're on the internet and all this other stuff, because you know what? It's the backbone of modern living, and you can't not have this stuff. Eventually, hopefully, a realization is going to dawn on the population of many countries in the world that these industries are to be courted because they provide jobs and they raise the standard of living. But God, it's so disconcerting when you see Chile playing games with miners.
Well, they do have a history of it, and they're reverting to farm, I guess.
For a long while.
Takes them off the buy list, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and it came out of kind of nowhere because they've been mining friendly for close to the past 15 years, I'd say. And
yeah, me too.
Yeah. So really, you're running out of places to hide, and you have to face the uncomfortable truth. And, gold and silver, right? What else can you do?
Nothing
Nothing else.
else.
So anyways, what else is happening? I didn't catch today's forecaster. What's our latest foray in there?
Well, it's interesting. The first time in 23 years I have not written an editorial.
Really?
Because there wasn't enough news.
Yeah, there's nothing happening here. Move along, right?
I mean, I sit there and I listen and think, and what am I going to write about? Not going on.
Yeah.
And maybe next week, but not now.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I think, I don't think that's accidental, Bob. I think that a lot of things are being suppressed and hidden from public view that are really profoundly important and are going to really do all sorts of things here that we can't even imagine. And yet you look at a newspaper and it's American Idol. Our latest thing here in the States is that some woman got arrested for bringing her 5-year-old to a tanning booth. And, this is what we're concentrating on rather than the big issues of the day. It's just the media is just a form of total voyeuristic escapism where you don't have to face the hard truths that are staring you right in the eye.
Well, they better come up with something soon. Because if they don't, they're going to lose their audience.
They are. CNN had the lowest ratings almost since their founding. Just came out a couple of days ago, and yet, they continue on with a flawed business model. Continue on, really not giving the listeners, the viewers, any value, or their shareholders, and everybody seems happy with this.
I know. It's to get an income.
Yeah, well, you got to keep your sense of humor, right, Bob?
That's right. But if you put your food away, you don't have a problem.
Yeah, you got to store some food, store some metals, and just keep the faith, because there's so much going on, and it's really important that you really keep your spirits up, because at some point the system will go the way all other systems have, and then we'll start a new one, right?
My mother used to say kaflooey.
Yeah, and it's all going kaflooey now, huh?
That's right.
Yeah, well, we'll get through it, right, Bob?
You bet your life we will.
All right, so we've got the link to the forecaster on the site. We will talk to you in a couple. You be well, and don't let the bastards get you down.
You got it, and the same to you listeners out there. We're going to win.
Yep.
Just be patient.
Yeah, this is the lull. This is the 7th inning stretch, right?
Certainly is.
All right, Bob. You be well.
Bye-bye.
Take care.